Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Redevelopment Commission meeting of July the 15th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order by starting the roll call, please. Beth?
Michael Bloom.
Here.
Jenny Lahman.
Here.
Kathy Lucid.
Here.
Nicole Stoltz.
Here.
Gary Turner.
Here.
Allison Zeidel.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Beth. First item that we have on our agenda today is the approval of minutes. And we have a couple of items here on that. The first one is the review and approve the minutes of our meeting from the May 20th and May 28th, 2025 meetings, as well as the memorandum of executive session that we held on May 22nd, 2025. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes? Beth, do we need to approve these separately, or can we approve them as a package?
They can be approved as a package.
Thank you.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as a package. Would you please call the vote?
Michael Bloom.
Aye.
Jenny Lahman.
Aye.
Kathy Lucid.
Aye.
Nicole Stoltz.
Don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't get voting privileges.
Going down my list. Sorry.
It's okay.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Allison Zeidel.
Aye.
And surpassed.
Thank you very much. And before I go any further, I would like to compliment Masaya and Beth for the way we've presented our agenda. This has been a nice change, and we have notice of the meeting that was advertised to the public, so it's nice to have it all in one package. Thank you very much. Looks very professional. Next are the approval of the financials, and we have the June 30th, 2025 financials. Beth, would you speak to that, please?
Correct. So you will notice on our June 30th financials for allocation area 1, we did have that large dip into cash for our 6 main project. So that came out of our cash balance. So the balance that we have available for new projects is $3,158,561.77. We currently have $1,053,000 earmarked in allocation area 1 for Richmond Community Schools projects.
Beth, before we leave that page, could you please go over what transaction we had there from the Wayne County for 6 Main for $2 million?
Sure.
Looks like we moved money in the May financials, and then what happened after that?
Correct. The Wayne County government contributed $2 million towards the capital stack for the 6 Main project. So that funding was receipted in when that $2 million came to the city. And then during the bond closing in June, that $2 million was transferred to the trustee for the bond. The trustee will be holding those funds, and those funds will be drawn down last from the local contribution. So those are sitting with the trustee. As we move forward, 6 Main will present vouchers to the city to review for work completed, and then once those are satisfactory, we will submit to the trustee for payment to the developer.
It's a little unusual that we hold the $2 million, isn't it?
It is. It was the way that the county had requested that go through. So it came to us to go to the trustee.
So we're the pass-through.
Correct.
Thank you.
Beth, can you update us on the status of the mechanics laundry and the old Reed Hospital site?
Sure. The former hospital site, the Reed is working on the remediation plan that was approved by the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. And once that remediation is completed and IDEM signs off on that, then we will be able to move forward with the writing of the environmental restrictive covenants that will be placed on the property. Once those covenants are recorded and placed on the property, then that payment will come to us from Reed.
Any idea when that might happen?
They are anticipating that they will finish that remediation by the end of this year.
Good deal.
And with the mechanics laundry, there is a project that is potentially interested in that location. So as we work through that prospect with the Economic Development Corporation, we are on hold with that currently until there's a determination as to the path forward with that project.
Okay.
Do we have anything to deallocate?
We do not today.
Okay.
And the Certified Technology Park, we are still working with the state as they determine how they'll be moving forward with transitioning of those funds. So we do currently have $2,165,327.68 sitting in that fund. With the Johns Manville Fund, we currently have $1,759,289.55 available for new projects. And in that fund, we do have $200,000 earmarked for Richmond Community Schools projects.
Beth, can you say that total again?
$1,759,289.55.
Is that different on other people's?
Yeah,
I've
I
got
have-
a different number.
I have 1,759,289.
And I have
Yes.
1,714,000.
Are you looking?
Are you?
But yours
Are you
Are you, you're
Are you on the
I'm looking
May?
at the PDF
Oh.
one.
I'm on May, never mind.
Oh, I'm on May.
Yes, so it is.
everyone flip
sorry.
to the June
Sorry, we're
30th
on
financials,
June.
please.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, I'm-
1,759,289.55, and that does include that we do have the 200,000 set aside for Richmond Community Schools use.
Which we'll be hearing about later.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Yes. And then with the Heartland Fund, this is the fund that we use for the bond payments for that project. So as you'll see, we have one remaining bond payment to make this year. And so based on their payment for the first allocation that we received, we have $960,947.73. In the Midwest Industrial Park Fund, this is the fund, again, that we are making our bond payments for the acquisition of the new land at the Midwest Industrial Park. And that shows that amount that you see at the top, that year-end transfer TIF income, that transfers, as you recall, from allocation area 1. So when you look at page 1 there at the bottom where it says TIF revenue bond of 2022, that amount is what will transfer over to this fund.
The 124,932.
Correct.
Okay.
And then if we have professional services that are paid from this fund, those will transfer over as well.
Back to the Heartland Fund, when we say we have 960,000 or so available for projects, those are projects within that group, right?
That is actually the bond payment. We do not have funds for additional projects outside of the bond payments currently.
Okay, so that's strictly bond payment.
Correct.
Just wanted to clarify. Thank you. Okay. Any further questions on the financials?
Move for approval.
I have a motion for approval. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Would you call the vote, please?
Michael Bloom,
Aye.
Jenny Lauman,
Aye.
Kathy Lucid,
Aye.
Gary Turner,
Aye.
Allison Zeidel,
Aye.
in favor.
Thank you. We have no old business to review today. We have new business. We have 2 items on the agenda. First is our annual TIF presentation by Baker Tilly. So I invite you forward. Oh, great, we have paper. Thank you. Oh, good reading for tonight, huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, I'll pass it down.
Good God.
I'm just passing down, so I'm saving a few steps. Oh.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Ooh, that is a fat package, yeah.
We're going to go through this page by page.
Good afternoon. My name
Somebody needs to bring dinner.
My name is Tim Foster with Baker Tilly. I'm here with Jason Semler for the TIF annual presentation. So you look at the second slide, that is a list of the allocation areas created. Some of them, not all of them. The next page, page 3, is our TIF estimate and TIF collections. In page 24, we estimated about 2.88 million. Collections came in at 2.855 million. Our estimate for pay 25 is to increase to 3,034,000, but then dip in pay 26. That is because of SEA 1 and the different deductions added to 2% properties. So like apartments will now have deductions which will take away from the TIF.
Okay, that was from recent legislation.
Yeah, the one that just happened this spring.
Thank you.
These areas expire in 2040 and 2038. Next slide is the Midwest Industrial Park Phase 3. That was created in June of 22. That does not have an expiration date yet because there are no bonds payable. It's not generating any increment yet. Downtown allocation area 2 is where the Flaherty and Collins project is. As that starts to get built, you guys will receive 10%, I think it is, of the split. So we just closed on those bonds a few weeks ago. Next slide talks about different outstanding obligations we have. 2015 A bonds, there's 1.4 million outstanding. Those will mature on January 15th of 2040. The brownfield bonds, the 2015 Bs, have 258,000 outstanding. And those will mature in 2035. The 22 bonds that were used for land will mature in 2040, and those have 2.465 million outstanding. So most of these mature when your allocations areas mature. Next slide shows your coverage versus the debt payments. As you can see, there is pretty healthy coverage. You'll see the slight dip starting in 2026, which will flatten out in 2031. Because of that's when all the implementation from the Senate Older Act 1 will go into effect. Next slide just runs through some future projects that will be funded with TIF or earmarked that could be funded. Then the next slide just goes through some of the expenses that Beth mentioned. The schools, the money for schools is earmarked here and taken into account.
I think, Tim, if I may, as you'll recall, last year began the process where DLGF was requesting our expenditures in a different format that matched with our spending plan. Right. So what Tim is denoting here is according to that spending plan, looking at that total debt service and all of those different areas that are eligible expenditures. That large amount listed for Richmond Community Schools, we've listed that full amount available as a potential expense because they could come and pull that full amount at the same time. Previously, we had simply budgeted just we had included just the amount for that year, but the new way that we report these to DLGF, we list that full amount now.
So the cumulative amount, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And you're saying they could come and ask for that 1.3 if they wanted to?
Correct.
Got it.
So
Thanks.
it's currently the 1,053,000, but this would be for 2026?
Correct.
Is what we're looking at. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tim, sorry.
Next, we have the Johns Mansfield Economic Development Area. This area was created in 2006 and it will expire in 2036. In pay 24, we estimated 589,000 in collections and it came in at $589. The next 2 years, we expect the collections to be $585,000, remain steady. Since that's the 3% property, there's no impact from any of the property tax legislation. The good news is these bonds will be paid off here in February, so all the money from the Mansfield EDA will be your guys' to spend.
Wow,
Wow.
we're paying one off. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, we can
People will
repay
start
45.
lining up pretty quickly.
Yes.
for that.
Next slide just talks about future projects, and the school's project is noted, as Beth mentioned earlier. And again, this slide is just set up in the budget way, like the DLGF requires, as Beth just mentioned. Final area is Heartland. That was created in 2016 and will expire in 2041. Pay 24 collections and estimates were pretty close. We estimated at 1.798 million and 1.799 came in. There'll be a small dip in 2025 from the personal property, but then it'll go back in 2026 because there is an expansion out at Blue Buffalo. Part of that expansion, we reissued and issued new bonds as part of the incentive, and those were issued in 2025. Those will mature in 2043. Then we reissued the outstanding ones that were issued in 2016 at the start of the area, and those will mature in 2037. Note the 2026 reissued ones are subordinate to the 2025 ones, meaning the 2025 ones will be paid off first.
Can you explain that a little bit further? I'm sorry.
So the way this is structured is the bonds that were issued in 2025 will have precedence. So all the TIF money that comes in will pay them first, and what's left over pays off the 2016 reissued bonds.
Okay.
They're both developer purchase bonds.
I will add, though, if you remember when we restructured the 16 bonds and issued the 2025 bonds, as was mentioned before, right now, 100% of the TIF is being captured and paying off those bonds. And starting in 2027, there will be a portion that you will be able to keep. Not all 100% is going towards the bond. So to this point, you've not had anything left over for other projects. Just starting in the near future, there will be a portion, a percentage that will be maintained by the Redevelopment Commission and be used for other projects like your other areas.
What percentage?
It varies. If you look in the TIF report.
Page
for the,
7.
The Harlan allocation area. You turn to page 4.
Page 4. Oh, that
Oh,
is, okay, thank you.
Wrong package.
That percentage there is the percentage pledged to the bonds. So the next column
I
over
see.
that's the amount that we anticipate going towards the bond.
Right.
And the far right, as you can see, 2026, we're estimating about $900,000 is what you'll be able to maintain and allocate.
Wow.
And if I may, if you'll recall, we had done that intentionally because of the additional road upgrades and sewer upgrades and the other infrastructure, as well as potential expansion to that area. So we had only pledged 50% for the new bond.
Is the sanitation aware of this cash flow? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
Next area is one that was just created. That is the Smith Hill Single Family Housing Allocation Area. That was created in March for the possibility of the residential development going on over there.
I guess before Tim goes to the impact, the only thing I would maybe add, Tim mentioned is the Senate Bill 1 that you see in that graph. Fortunately, your TIF areas aren't hurt too much by the Senate Bill 1 and the impacts that it's had, because the goal of, if you know, Senate Bill 1 was to help reduce property taxes. Well, that also means reducing TIF, which is, where our revenue is coming from.
Right.
As the graph showed that Tim went over, we're expecting about a $300,000 dip in the tax increment from what you collect now compared to what we think you'll collect once the phase-in happens. Again, this doesn't assume any other new construction, new development happens between now and then. But it shows that even with that dip, you still have sufficient funds to cover your bond payments and still have money left over for your pay-as-you-go projects that you have in your budget.
Good.
But it's something that we'll continue to monitor as that legislation continues to get phased in and develops over the next, 5 to 6 years. But I think, I'm sure the mayor is very well aware, it's going to probably hit the city much more severe in their budget. So my guess is that just makes your board and what you're able to do even that much more important for the city.
So that $300,000 dip, that's just referencing what we're dealing with. It's not citywide.
And this
Right.
is just all
That's
we're going
just
on.
our, okay,
Yeah, so
thank you.
The city's impact could potentially be much more than that.
Right, okay.
Very good. Until other legislation comes up, right?
Well,
Always subject to
Yes.
legislation.
Next few couple slides talk about the impact of TIF. First slide is this slide is just about the mechanics of TIF. So when you create a TIF area, you set a base value, which is the current net assessed value. So all of that money retains going to the overlapping taxing units. Any increase in value from that is what is captured as incremental assessed value and is what the TIF is and what you guys are able to spend. And then once the TIF area expires, the AV will roll off to the taxing units for their benefit.
Is this chart made public anywhere so that the general public understands how TIFs work?
General public does struggle with that
I know,
question.
I will. I mean, it's a little complicated.
I mean, I've seen this type of chart if you Google it and do some research on your own. I don't know that it's been
I don't know.
available
I'm just
anywhere
wondering if
else.
the redevelopment page may even have something like this on it that
For
makes it
education.
just a little more understandable.
That would be helpful.
We can do that.
This is just a nice version of it. I like the version you have here. I think it's an easy
It's a
explanation.
nice, simple way to
It is,
describe
and it
it.
makes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the key point is if you look at the box, by capturing $5 million of assessed value, that generates $150,000 of TIF. If you were to pass that through, the misconception is that $150,000 gets allocated to the
Right.
city, the school, the county, the townships, the library. And you have to keep in mind, we don't capture TIF, we capture AV. So as Tim mentioned, we pass through the AV, that just helps reduce tax rates. So just as you're doing, let's say you want to benefit the school, you really can benefit them more by capturing the AV and setting aside some of it, like you are, for projects that they come in front of you and ask for, rather than passing through the AV and just helping to reduce tax rate. That is a benefit, but you can get more bang for your buck by capturing the TIF and actually funding projects. That's why I like this
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, I do too. And it is a difficult subject, and people do get confused by that.
Yeah, Indiana property tax is probably one of the most confusing things out there, and it's just got more confusing with Senate Bill 1. So I kind of like this, and it does show the impact of the TIF and how you can help other units.
Because you see the only money going to the city is $2,500 off of that $5 million that if you pass through, which is nothing compared to the $150,000 you guys could do to improve infrastructure. And then the other next page just shows it in the Wayne taxing district. So,
Excellent. Is there anything in here that we should be concerned about?
Senate Bill 1, but like I said, I think your downtown area is what I was really concerned about, because you do have some residential TIF, you do have some rental property, and all those taxpayers are getting some tax relief, which again means reduced tax
Very good. You have more for us, Tim?
Do you have any questions or?
Any questions? Nope, you've left us some good reading material here, so we'll look through it, and if something comes up, we'll be in contact.
It's you'll see more of the SEA one impact in the report. It'll make more sense seeing it that way. Hard to lay out on the slides.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Jason, anything to add? Okay. Oh. Thank you, Jason and Tim. Appreciate the update. Our next item of business on the agenda is Resolution 9, 2025, a resolution authorizing the appropriation and expenditure of funds, training Richmond Community Schools, amount requested $110,000, $55,000 annually for 2 years. And I believe we have some people speaking to this. Very good.
So after, one of our slides did drop off, so we did have printed copies as well. So we'll follow the slides for those members of our public that we do have full slide presentations.
Thank you.
And if everyone would just introduce themselves so that we have it on the record.
Absolutely. I am Dr. Curtis Wright. With me is my assistant superintendent, Mrs. Karen Scalf. Also our head high school principal, Mrs. Ray Whoopi. Our assistant principal, Mr. Joshua Amix. And of course, everyone knows Dr. Bozer, the proud chancellor of Ivy Tech Community College.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of the Commission. I am Dr. Curtis Wright, Superintendent of Richmond Community Schools, and on behalf of our Board of School Trustees, my RSCS administrative team, and Dr. Chad Bozer, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you today. We are here to respectfully request your partnership and support in expanding our work-based learning course offerings, an investment we believe will have transformative impact on our students, our local workforce, and the vitality of our community. As you know, the landscape of education and employment is changing rapidly. Employers across industries consistently tell us they're looking for graduates who not only have strong academic foundations, but also bring real-world skills, professionalism, and the ability to adapt and problem-solve from day one. Work-based learning programs, including internships, job shadowing, and industry-led courses, bridge the critical gap by connecting classroom knowledge with practical application. Over the past 40-plus years, Richmond Community Schools has provided several work-based learning initiatives in fields such as advanced manufacturing, healthcare, information technology, construction trades, as well as many others. The results have been encouraging. Students who participate in these programs graduate at higher rates, show stronger engagement in school, and often enter the workforce or post-secondary education with clear career goals and valuable credentials. However, demand for these opportunities now far exceeds our current capacity. Many local businesses are eager to partner with us, but we need additional resources to scale these programs effectively. Specifically, we're seeking funds to expand our partnerships with local employers and our local collegiate institutions, such as Ivy Tech Community College, to provide industry-aligned curriculum that meets real workforce needs and cover transportation and program coordination costs that often serve as barriers for our students. By investing in these efforts, the Redevelopment Commission won't just be supporting our school system, you'll be making a direct investment in our city's future workforce, economic development, and overall community prosperity. This is about keeping talent here at home, preparing students not just for jobs, but for meaningful careers that contribute to the growth and vibrancy of our city. Richmond Community Schools is proud of the progress we've made, but with your help, we can do so much more. Together, we can ensure that every student has access to hands-on learning experiences that set them up for success while helping meet the workforce needs of our local businesses. Thank you for your time, your commitment to our community, and for considering this important request. At this time, I will ask that my Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Karen Scalf, come before you to begin our presentation. However, I would also like to provide a disclaimer that with our lineup of presenters, we have a reputation, all of us, of being long-winded, but we're going to be on our best behavior to be respectful of the Commission's time. And so, without further ado, Mrs. Karen Scalf.
We appreciate that, and please feel free to tell your story.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I am going to leave a lot of the details to these two gentlemen with me. They have been kind of the brains behind this really wonderful initiative that we are looking at expanding at our high school. And I have to give a little kudos to Mr. Rusty Hensley, because he also has worked with us on this endeavor quite a lot. So I will leave them to the details of the program, but I really wanted to just talk with you guys about why redevelopment. Why does it make sense to look at this? And the reason being is that we at RHS and RCS are the future of this city. And we take that very seriously. We are looking at expanding our options in order to be able to meet the needs that our community has. And the couple of programs that we're going to start with are things that not only do we see, Mr. Bolzer can talk to this a lot more fluently than I can, but not only do we see it in the workforce, but we see it also in when we're trying to get services. Some of these are a challenge in our area. And so we know that that will build our area, it will grow our city, and we look forward to having the opportunity to partner with you for it. The other portion of why redevelopment and why it makes a lot of sense is that redevelopment is an interlocal initiative. We've already heard today all of the people that had to make a conscious decision to say that we're going to set aside funds in order to allow for growth in our city. This is where that happens. So we appreciate that you have honored us with a set aside because not every redevelopment commission does that. And in fact, it is rare. And it is something that in our school world, we are able to very consciously and very vocally say we appreciate. It is something that people in my peer group are jealous of. And so I appreciate that you guys are willing to talk with us and to give us the opportunity to grow our schools together with you. The other piece to this is that not only is it just about school, and it's not just about what happens in our doors and in our educational areas, but it's also about marketability. So Ms. Schaefer is here with us today. Her job is to go find us people that want to come here, and we want to make that easier for her. And so this initiative really will do that for all of us. It is something that I hope brings the mayor, brings you, brings Ms. Schaefer, brings our county commissioners some opportunities for new and exciting things here in not only our city, but our county. So a little kudos to Johns Manville for starting this charge. When they initiated their TIF area, it was something that they, and I don't know if a couple of us were here then. And so that was something different, and it was something really exciting. And so Mr. Hensley and I had been working on things for quite a while to find that niche where it fit just perfectly into what they needed and also what they expected from us at Richmond High School. And we truly believe that this is it. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Volpe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today to speak with you. I am so passionate, and I can tell you that every single administrator in the school district, every single teacher, every single one of my administrators are passionate about providing this Richmond, Wayne County with educated students that can go out and be in our workforce. Because I think we all know if we have an educated community full of people, that is the number one thing that we are going to attract businesses to come to Richmond. What's the first thing they ask? Hey, what's out there? What can I hire? And so our goal is to provide the best education at Richmond High School so that our students graduate not only with a diploma, but they have a plan for their future that's going to include being a productive citizen in the Richmond-Wayne County area. So with that, My task today is to talk about the new Indiana High School diploma, which we are excited. When it first came out, I was going, oh my gosh, we have a diploma that is actually relevant to every single student, because this new diploma meets the requirements that if I'm going to go to college, I can be in this lane. If I'm going to go out to the workforce, I'm going to be in this lane. And if I choose to go to the military, I can be in this lane. And that are the 3 lanes that this new diploma has established. The Indiana Secretary of Education, Dr. Katie Jenner, was the one that started all of this and emphasized the need for a modernized high school structure, noting that it has largely remained unchanged for over a century. We did the same thing like we've always done for the same old 100 years. Then the Indiana Department of Education met with Dr. Jenner, and they discussed streamlining the high school diploma, offering a personalized learning pathway, flexibility, and enhancing work-based learning opportunities. Reason we're here today, the work-based learning that Dr. Bolzer and my new Director of Career Education, Josh Amix, are here to speak with you about. This new diploma focused on making high school experiences more relevant to career goals and student needs. I won't bore you with getting into the weeds, but March 2024, the first draft was approved by the State Board of Education. There was a 3-month public input. They came back with a second draft because our colleges and universities didn't like that there wasn't enough rigor that they felt for high school students to be entering college. So, State Board of Education, Dr. Jenner, Indiana Department of Education reformatted everything, and then the second draft came out. Again, another public feedback initiative, and then in December of 2024, the results were approved by the State Board of Education. So, again, this initiative, it aims to help students discover their purpose and understand their life possibilities through flexible educational experiences. And you've got copies in your packets, I believe. And I want to direct your attention, and not to read it now, but at some point to look at the seals. The seals are going to be the goal of every high school. We want every student to get a seal, not just the basic diploma that is on the front page, which some students could get. But again, the goal is that students achieve one of those lanes. The enrollment lane, as you will see, is geared more towards the 4-year college, the university, the 2-year colleges, and then the middle lane is the employment lane, where that's employment and then enlistment and service. But the one thing that the state did was they put in a work-based learning component. In the enrollment lane, I have to have 75 hours of work-based learning experience. If I'm in the employment lane, I need 150 hours of work-based learning experience. And if I'm in the employment honor seal, I need 650 hours of work-based learning during my 4 years of high school. So work-based learning has all of a sudden become very important, and it's so experiential for these kids because they're going to be able to experience what it is, learn at an early age. Hey, I got to be a team player. I've got to be able to critically think. I have to be able to collaborate. I have to be able to know how to be a contributing member to whatever workplace that I choose to go to. And often as we tell them in school, if they can go out and experience something on the job or that work-based learning experience, they're hearing it from all of you and all of the employers in our community. And that just really sinks in when they go, oh yeah, I guess what my teachers are telling me is really true, that I need to do this or I need to do that. So again, we have been very proactive. As soon as the new diploma came out, I'm sure that you've probably heard that the Indiana or the Richmond Area Chamber of Commerce and the Wayne County Foundation and all of the Wayne County superintendents and some administrators have all been meeting since January on this new diploma. And how are we going to get all of these students a work-based learning experience? So the chamber has hired a liaison that is going to initially start and help all of the 5 Wayne County schools accomplish that. So again, I'm excited. It is something that has been needed. And so how are we going to make this happen at Richmond High School? And I'm going to let Mr. Amix and Mr. Bolzer talk to you about what I think is so important, our partnerships.
Before you relinquish the microphone there for a moment, a couple questions.
Sure.
When does a student decide what lane they want to be in?
A student can actually decide, and they can change their mind. So there's no decision point.
So if they come in as a freshman and decide they want to do college prep, and then they find that that's not really what direction they want to go, they move to another.
Absolutely, absolutely. The one thing, if they think they're college prep and they're saying, oh gosh, you know what? I've discovered I want to go out and do this. All they're going to have to do is the number of hours of work-based learning
Right.
to move into another lane. So-
Now, is this like a cooperative education program with local employers? Where,
yes.
Someone will be paid for the time that they're actually out there
There's
doing the job?
there's actually options, all right? They can be paid as an internship. It can be a non-paid internship. It can be a job shadowing. It can be a simulation. All of those count for that work-based learning experience. So it's not, I have to go out and I have to get a job and I have to get paid. It is the experience, and it could be any of those that I just mentioned.
Okay.
Madam President,
you.
just as
Yes.
a point of clarification to your question, these seals are a requirement of our incoming freshman class to have been able to attain by the time they're seniors. However, as this is what we alluded to, and with the exceptional one that's been ongoing for some time, we actually have upperclassmen and current sophomores that may be eligible to achieve a seal, not having had the 4 total years, because again, RCS and RHS has been above and ahead of the curve.
Well, one of the things that we have done at Richmond High School, because what has happened is Governor Braun announced this, I think several months ago, that students starting next school year who graduate with a honors plus seal in the enrollment category will be directly admitted to any Indiana public college. So,
Nice.
big incentive.
Yes.
So what we did, as soon as we heard that, we looked at our upcoming seniors, and we have already identified all of the students that could possibly get an Honor Seal Plus. Our counselors have already talked to them in May. We are bringing them back in when school starts. There are a few new required courses that they are going to have to take, but we'll start with our seniors, and the next group we look at will be our juniors next year, And so we're, again, going to try and get as many of those seals and as many of those students who can be directly admitted into college. So
Excellent.
that's a huge thing that's going to happen.
Are the students kind of guided a little bit? In other words, instead of someone saying, I choose this lane, and for however it's determined that you're going, you really don't have the capacity to do X.
Oh, absolutely.
And so will you then kind of try and counsel them to say, you've got it, however you have an aptitude for this, and I would recommend, however, I guess there's free will, so they can choose what they want, but you do kind of, you want success, so you want to counsel them as best you can so they choose a truly viable path.
Great question. We have, one of the new required courses is preparing for college and careers. We have moved that to the 8th grade. So in the 8th grade, every Richmond Community School student in the 8th grade will take a course called Preparing for College and Careers. And within that course is a career inventory. And they discuss about what are the different areas that they could go into, and then maybe identify myself. I would have been in the service area because I thought about being a nurse. I thought about being a teacher. And then we follow that up with, they have a program called Zello, which is then going to give that information to the 9th grade teachers, and we have established a new course called Freshman Seminar. And again, Freshman Seminar is going to be used for, we want to get community speakers, we want to have them have field trips so that they can experience all kinds of different areas. So in that 8th and 9th grade, we're really focusing on what do you want to do? What do you want to be? But let's make it a wide category. You don't pick just one thing, because I know I changed my major 3 times in college, and what I want to be in the 8th grade may not what I want to be in the 12th grade.
And are you engaging the parents of these kids too as well? Because obviously the
Yes.
parents have a big,
Absolutely. Yes.
Impact on-
We're planning on, right now, we have a rising 9th grade night where we have parents come in one night as they're entering, it's usually in February. And then we also have a rising senior night, which we have in April, of all of our juniors. And we have parents come in and we say, hey, here are the things you need to be thinking about. If you're thinking about going to college, then here are some things you need to do. Here's how we can help you. So, yeah, and more of those types of things we will be doing to engage parents in those decisions.
Good, thank you.
Just to add, as Mrs. Wilkie has alluded to, these are things that we're also already doing. We have been
Yeah.
doing for some time very effectively and very successfully, which I think serves as a caveat to such a request, because with such partnership and with such funding, we can enhance, increase in progress the hard work and, again, the outcomes that we've gotten, because as Mrs. Wilkie alluded to, our guidance counselors, administrative team, faculty and staff, parents and guardians, the students alike, they're really coming together to do some great things.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Remember my disclaimer with these next two.
I know them both, yeah.
So I'll try to be brief. Those of you who know me know that I've had a long career in education, and my bread and butter is non-traditional students, and I love helping non-traditional students be successful, but not just in the classroom, also in our community and in their futures. It's no secret that somebody in education this long can't go to Walmart without getting hugged or high-fived, or sometimes worse. It is really great to see what students at Richmond High School go on to do and the successes that they have. So in February, I got an opportunity to be hired as the Director of Career and Tech Ed, Adult Education, and Alternative Education. 3 of my biggest passions in being able to lead the charge in those things. My first week on the job, we got an invite from Dr. Bolser to come take a tour of Ivy Tech's new spaces and updated spaces. Dr. Wright, Mrs. Whoopi, and some others were there with us. I believe Mrs. Scalf was there as well. And being my first week on the job, I didn't really know what we were doing other than taking a tour until Dr. Bolser handed us a packet and said, this is the 4th time I've given this tour. These are some of the pathways that we can consider. And I looked at him and I said, this is the 4th time you've asked to have partnerships. Let's make it happen. By week 2, I got a yes that we're going to move forward with 2 great new programs at the Richmond Area Career Center. So Mrs. Scalf alluded to the conversations on how we can utilize this money that she had with my predecessor, Mr. Hensley, who is the brains of the Career Center. 13 fantastic programs that are very successful in dual credits. We're very successful in state and national competitions that we send students to. But with your help, we would like to make that 15 wonderful programs that are successful. So in my conversations with Dr. Bolser and some others, we talked about what is highest demand, what is going to be most successful. Our machine tool program is one of the highest demands every year. So we have about 13 or 14 new spots every year for that program because it is a 2-year program, and this year we had 76 applicants. So if we can create another program that might interest students like that, and that's where the welding came into place. So welding is one of those programs that we discussed, and we decided not only was there a high demand in our community for welders, in the nation for welders, but also a high demand for hands-on learning, hands-on welding opportunities for our students, and that interest is there. The second one was after that initial tour, we walked over to his domain and took a peek at the nursing facilities that Ivy Tech has. And if you have not seen that facility, it is fantastic. It blew my mind. And I'm thinking right then and there, hadn't had a conversation with these folks, I'm thinking there, we pretty much decided we were going to partner and bring a nursing program to Richmond Area Career Center. Reed Hospital is the largest employer in Wayne County. Why don't we pump them full of CCMA students? That stands for Certified Clinical Medical Assistant. The first 20 times I tried to say that, I couldn't get it out. So it's CCMA. It's a little higher than a CMA or a CNA. It pays a little bit more, and what I hear is that might be the highest demanded job in Wayne County is to be a medical assistant. So those are the 2 programs that we are going to start with, and we have a cohort of 10 students each in those programs, and we as Richmond Community Schools have made a commitment to make that happen. We're going to get them there. They're going to take classes at Ivy Tech. So these students are going to be what's called dual enrollment. They're not only enrolled at Richmond High School, but they will be enrolled as college students at Ivy Tech. And what I'm super excited about is the fact that these students and the current programs that we have can walk at an Ivy Tech graduation even before they can walk at a Richmond High School graduation. So I can't wait to see the numbers of Richmond High School students at Ivy Tech's graduation a month before they graduate high school. So with that, Dr. Bolser is going to go into a little bit more on the welding and healthcare programs.
Thank you. Like to express how pleased we are with this partnership because it is in alignment. And everything that you will see in here is in alignment. The first thing is it's in alignment with the new diploma. The programs that are selected and have been selected in this will be in those programs that the state will select for the top jobs moving forward. In the packet that I gave you, you'll get some context. It's a long article by Indiana Business Journal about how the state is going forward with selecting top jobs and top programs and the certifications that they will pick into the future for education organizations to do that. So welding and CCMA, that is in alignment with that. It's also in alignment with the honors seal, as Mrs. Wolpe described before. It's also in alignment with the marketplace. Our largest employer are demanding the nurses and sub-nursing credentials, and those are going to be absolutely critical moving forward. The demand in that marketplace is huge, as well as welding, although not exactly specifically listed on many of the manufacturing jobs. All you would have to do is go around to manufacturing employers to know that that skill is unbelievably desired in the marketplace. It is a reason to hire someone as well as a reason to promote someone. So this structural technical certificate, and by the way, CCMA, the course schedule and all of the structural welding courses are in your packet as well. All of those are in alignment for students to earn a credential and also stack onto that credential for further credentials down the road. So it is quite an opportunity with something tangible for students to take away. So we're thrilled to be a part of this and a part of the expanding future of these types of things that will be demanded by the state of Indiana and I think by our region. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for either Chad or Josh. I'm not sure which one. So I haven't had a chance to read the Indiana Business Review article, but in terms of when they're handing down the next top job, how long does the school have to react, and how quickly do you think your team can react to that? Because you're, having.
going to ask about the top jobs, which I could do more than that.
So my goal is to be proactive and to try to figure out the market before the market hits.
Okay.
And so we do that with the drafting programs and the medical programs that we have, the fire and rescue program, the machine tool program. So we are keeping up, and sometimes we're far ahead of where the demand is, which is great. The second largest employer is what? Richmond Community Schools.
Right.
All right, so that's my next task, is to grow and build that program with the help of Ivy Tech. I think that the partnership that we have is really good. I think it can be stronger. And so as we look forward, I'm thinking, I don't know if I've even told them this, but cybersecurity is big, and it's not going away. So that's my next project, if you will. That and criminal justice is a demand from our kids. And so I'm going to put in front of our kids what they want and what they need, and in order to give them the education, but also the skills that they need in order to be successful. So I'm a very process-driven guy, and go ahead. No, so Mr. Bloom, first off, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you since I made you some sandwiches at my dad's restaurant a long time ago, so it's great to see you again. But to add on to what we talked about earlier, we had a co-op with, again, a partnership with Ivy Tech at Belden. We sent 9 students to Belden starting in October, and they had to go through an interview process, a resume process, and they did all of those things. And Belden hired 9 of those on a part-time basis, 4 days a week for 4 hours, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. So they would go to Belden and work at 6 o'clock in the morning. They would finish their day at Richmond High School. 8 of those 9 got hired on full-time the day they got a diploma from Richmond High School. One of those would have been a first-generation college student, but Belden's going to pay him $90,000 the day after he graduated from high school. That can't be duplicated. Those partnerships, these partnerships that we hope to build with these 2 new programs is what we're made of, what we believe in at Richmond High School and Richmond Area Career Center. So I hate that you can't see the last slide because it's phenomenal, but you have a packet, so let's go ahead and turn to that. So this is building a stronger future together. In the center is our goal. Our goal of everybody in this room, including our mayor behind me, is a stronger Richmond. We have to build a stronger Richmond, and we're going to do that. The first step is that Richmond Area Career Center has partnered with Ivy Tech, and we have done that for a long time. That partnership is growing and will hopefully grow exponentially. Dr. Bolser and I have worked closely together for a long, long time in different realms, and I'm pleased to note that his grace, even amongst Ivy Tech's big budget cuts, he called me the next day and said, hey, I know you're going to hear about these budget cuts. Don't worry about your new programs. We're going to make this happen because it's the right thing to do for kids. And that's what I've told these folks. Don't worry about it. We're going to figure this out because it's the right thing to do for kids. So that process, step one, is that partnership between us. That step two is our partnership with you. Your supporting these program expansions is going to be vital for the success of Richmond Area Career Center and Richmond High School's graduates. And that is the future of Richmond community. To build a stronger community, we need your help. I think I've alluded to the fact that we're moving forward. I don't know if you know this about me, but when I get a glimpse of something that's good for kids, I'm not going to accept that we can't do it because of finances. I'm just not. That's not an acceptable answer. So hopefully you choose to be that support in the financial realm of these things, but also come out and see what we're doing at Ivy Tech. The result of this process is that you have an educated workforce that meets and exceeds the demand in our community, and we graduate kids with not only a diploma but a plan, with credentials and skills to be successful. So with that said, if I might be so blunt in asking that we would love to hear a motion for approval of the proposal that Karen Scalf so eloquently put in front of you in the month of June. So, any other questions before you do that?
I know Josh, and I appreciate his passion. But I do have a question.
Great.
I have a couple questions. First of all, back to the programs that you're going to be offering. I am assuming that you have in your sights the other skilled trades like electrician, plumbing, carpentry, and things of that nature down there.
Dental hygiene.
Well, Nicole and I talked about it. The day that you emailed me, I called Dr. Bolser to see if we could get that going. Unfortunately, there are Ivy Tech campuses that are too close, and so at this time it is not. But I would love to.
I do think the advantage of Ivy Tech in this space with Richmond Community Schools is that we don't have a yes for every single one of the programs. The great part about that is, and again, guided by what the state of Indiana is going to put out there as top jobs so that we can educate towards those outcomes, it allows for us to pull into and utilize our other campuses and other service areas. So dental hygiene might come up, but also there might be on heavy moving equipment. We don't have a heavy moving, operation out on our campus. However, somewhere in our 92 county operation, we have that availability. That gives Josh and the team flexibility to come to us as the state does make changes or as local demand rises in a particular area. So it is always on or within the possibility of making that happen.
Because he's humble, he won't say, but Dr. Bolser is in charge of an institution that has repeatedly stayed ahead of the curve and has repeatedly stayed grounded to what it is that we in the trenches and in the day-to-day are experiencing. Ivy Tech Community College has been recognized across the country as a leading proponent when it comes to not only dual crediting, but also putting students in positions that other states have not. And as I alluded to earlier this year, Dr. Bolser, I, as well as many others from around the state, got a chance to showcase to the country the amazing things they're doing. So our partnership and this first ask of others that we may be coming back to this commission for, I think it was highlighted during the presentation previously. We're confident, and with this young man here, we know that we have what it takes to get it done.
So President
Yeah.
Lucid, I do want to answer your question. We do have a construction trades program that is fully operational and it funds itself.
Okay.
So we do work already for the community. We've got a box truck and a bus that we bus kids to when the weather permits, and we go and do projects for the community at large. So
Excellent, thank you.
in that, there is a little bit of electrician work. Plumbing is really hard to do. We don't have the facilities for that right now, but I have a really good friend who's a plumber who employed one of our students second semester this past year, and he has really grown. And so that student is, if he chooses to be a plumber and stay on at that plumbing company, he will get his plumbing license paid for by that person.
The question I had, well, first of all, a statement. We've been accumulating these funds for education for quite some time. So I'm really pleased that we're getting a request to actually use them because they've been out there a long time and we'd like to see them put to use. So that's my statement. My question is, the amount that you're requesting, the $110,000 over 2 years, can you tell us specifically how those monies will be spent?
You can do that.
So the really, I guess, fun, I'll call it fun because it's fun for me. It's probably not fun for him. About my job is finding the resources to make it work, right? It's really hard right now. We heard about Senate Bill 1. I will say he was really nice about it. Like what we're hearing isn't so nice. And so that's one thing that Dr. Bolzer and I talked about a couple of times during this process is what is it looking like? How do we make this happen? And how do we get it funded? And so as you, I hope, have seen in our prior request, we try to be very responsible with the funds that we ask for. The other part of it is we really want to maximize the impact when we ask. We don't want it to just touch us. We want it to touch the entire city. So we have been very careful in when we have brought you requests, and we will continue to do so to a degree because it's important. These funds are not just ours. They are a joint collective of city funds, library funds, school funds, county funds. And so it's really important that we make sure that when we put in requests that it meet needs. And so with that, what our plan was is this is a jumping off point. We heard we're going to start small, but we don't plan for it to stay small very long. I know that as we have had conversations around our table, this can be extremely impactful, and it can be like, as I think you used the word, exponential, because that's what we need. And our city needs that in order to bring growth and development and to do the things that you're tasked to do and we're tasked to do. So with that, it was also very important for us to make sure that this was a request that is just a portion of the cost. So we all have skin in the game in this request. Richmond Community Schools does receive some career education funds through the state funding formula. That is a portion of what can make this happen. It can't make all of it happen. Dr. Bolzer also gets a portion of funds to make this program happen. This is for the portion that we can't fund. Mm-hmm. And while we said we will make this happen somehow, we don't want to cut other programs that we're doing in order to make that happen. And with the funds that you have set aside, we felt like this was a very reasonable ask. Over a 2-year period, this can make a lot of things happen for a lot of students. And our plan is to start with cohorts of 10. We want to grow to 40 total students each year. So this will grow, and it will continue to grow. But we also want to be very responsible with it, and we want to make sure that we get them the things that they need. When you do welding, you can't just walk in and say, here I am. There are things that students will need to make that happen, and we want to make sure that we aren't limiting our students based on any difficulties they may have or challenges, both socioeconomically or just with at home. We want to make sure that we take away any barrier. So that was something as we discussed these funds, we wanted to make sure that we could take care of whatever needed to be done, whether it was curricular materials, whether it was PPE, whether it was tools, those things that we can do as a school to make sure that the program is sustainable and lasts. And so that's what's before you today. So we have only asked for, and it will probably run like all other redevelopment funds, we put in reimbursement requests. So this will be no different than that, and our expectation is that we're going to show you what we pay for. As Dr. Wright alluded to, there may be transportation costs because we don't know who's going to enroll, but we don't want to have a barrier. And we already have a bus that does a lot of career education programming, but we want to make sure that we're prepared for whatever that looks like because our goal truly is to grow this program. So we're going to use it mainly on if there's tuition costs, if there are equipment costs, if there are curricular material costs, if there are transportation costs, we may need that. But those are the bulk of what we will see.
It looks like in your application, you cite between $3,570 and $4,000 for current degree requirements, and you can cover about $2,000 of that. So the RCS will be covering about 60%, and the ask from RDC is 40%. Is that?
Correct, yes. And Dr. Bolser, we have talked about options that he may have for growth and funding. Those opportunities just are not here yet. So we will learn more as these programs become more like established, but we didn't want to count on funding that isn't there right now.
We're providing gap funding for you.
Correct.
Perfect.
Madam President, also can just allude to the statement that you referenced, because it's something that I've heard in my role for some time, which is there are monies available that you all can seek. And the three tenets that our team and our corporation have come to understand that we work to usher in is quality classroom teaching, systemic alignment, and social-emotional supports. Over the past few years, we've been making sure that we are, as they would say on the south end of town, getting our house in order. And so as we have done that, now, as I mentioned, this is the first of several visits that we plan to come back before the commission, and with partnerships with like Ivy Tech, IU East, as well as some of the other collegiate institutions and many of our employers. We now feel that we can come and I'd be remiss if I didn't reference that our board of trustees are also and have been in constant communication as to how we can maximize funding and maximize some of the allotments that may be there for us. And so I think my astute director, I think he tried to make a motion.
Yeah. I don't think we can accept a motion from the floor, but there are more questions up here, so.
And the other thing I did want to say is, like, with this funding, your partnership is a really great way that we as a community can show that we are all supporting, from the youngest to the oldest. Just making really great things happen in our city. And so we thought that that would be a really great way that we could partner.
Just to clear up
Questions?
some of what you asked about too is that we've already filled the 10 spots for both programs.
Okay.
So we were proactive in that, making sure that we had the right students and the number of students that needed to happen. So, you know, I've got skin in the game too. My daughter has signed up for the CCMA program. She wants to be a labor and delivery nurse. She's not going to end at CCMA. She's going to use that as a stackable and a jumping off point.
Sure.
Did nepotism play a role in her getting?
Not at all. She was number 10.
That actually,
She was number 10.
that's one of my questions. These 10 kids that are in the program, they met the criteria, obviously. It sounds like there were more that would have met the criteria had you had the capacity. to have
Absolutely,
more.
absolutely. We had more requests, and them being new programs, and we got a pretty late start. I mean, nobody really thought that we could pull this off in the amount of time that we did. We didn't start till mid to late February, really getting the ball rolling, and then in March we were ready to go. So April and May were spent promoting the programs and educating our students and our staff about them, and then we took in the applicants, and them being new programs, they weren't our highest sought after programs because they know the machine tool teacher, they know the automotive teacher, they know the construction teacher and the drafting, so they wanted those programs that they've already taken some intro classes in.
And then the other question I have, do you have hard metrics that you're going to be able to look at and after year one, year two, year three, and look back and go, this is working, it's not working, or it's working, but this needs to be tweaked? Have you established those metrics already to?
Yeah, so the good part about that
Critically
is
evaluate?
is the state develops some of those
Oh,
metrics
you have
as
to-
well. So,
Okay.
but we're going to have higher ones. We're going to have high expectations because our students this is something new to Richmond High School. We're sending students to the college. And so that's both of us. In partnership, the expectations are going to be set very clearly. Again, I'm a process guy. Communicate your expectations, support them to meet them, and hold them accountable if they don't. That's a simple three-step process that we're going to use for our students. And you have more to say about that? You were walking up.
Oh, we can give you any metric on anything that you would like to, and we
I
do
bet.
have for this to work, folks have to complete. Part of our funding formula on all of this is we can't hold classes. We can't take a health science faculty and make a part of their load high school students without them completing. So they have to obtain those credentials for us for this to be able to work for us. The ROI is there when we have folks complete. That's the nature of the community college formula.
Other questions by the commission?
No, but I would, when you say that you'll come back for other funding, I would be prepared to go ahead and do the 2-year funding. I like you not having to be in a constant fundraising cycle all the time. But I would encourage you to come back for the same program if you learn next year in February, this isn't going to work. We need way more than we thought. I would encourage you to then also come back for this program. So I don't know if you were thinking of it in terms of other programs we're coming back for, but this one, I would assume everyone would entertain additional funding requests for this because it's got to be hard to predict what it's going to cost.
Yeah, you need
So
some experience.
Yeah. So I just want to make that statement. I don't know if
If you want
that's.
to raise the amount,
Just saying that it's not a lot of money.
missing
in terms
opportunity.
of, in terms of what you're trying to get done. So
We sincerely appreciate that suggestion.
just a thought.
Thank you. Any other questions by the,
Move for approval.
I'll second.
I have a motion for approval, and it has been seconded. Would you please call the vote?
Michael Bloom,
Aye.
Jenny Lauman.
Aye.
Kathy Lucid.
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Allison Zeidel.
Aye.
All are in favor.
Motion carries. Thank you for what you're doing, and now that the vote's over, I will share that I'm a product of cooperative education in high school from another community. And we did work, and, we were paid, and we went to school half the day and worked the other half. And it was a highly successful program. It certainly got me started in a business career that I could build on. And I'm excited that the high school is taking this direction, and I think it'll be really good for the students, the parents, the families, the community, and the employers. Thank you.
And I want to just say thank you to the RDC for this funding allotment. It was stated that it's not just the right thing to do for RCS students, it is the right thing to do for Richmond, in my opinion. We're uniquely positioned with human capital at the high school, and Richmond needs that capital, and we need that capital in productive jobs, and we're helping make that happen. So thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Nicole. Thank you. Good luck to all of you. You still want to?
Yes.
Okay. That completes the items that we had in our new business agenda, but
Pretty exciting, actually.
Gary has asked to speak to another item.
I suspect everyone on this commission will be approached at some point to contribute to a capital campaign that's just getting started at Reed Center. And when they contacted me, I suggested that they consider approaching us with an application for whatever amount would be appropriate. I have no idea what that would be, but I promised that I would just take your temperature on that matter. It's not a vote.
No, it's a nonprofit organization, so it
Right.
qualifies. It's in the
Yep.
TIF district,
Yep.
so I think it meets that basic criteria. I mean, the application would have to be submitted and reviewed by Beth to
Right.
see whether or not it fits.
Well, they're going to do a lot of different things, but I told them that they needed to focus on one particular element of the project, to bring it
Be
to us,
specific.
to be able to have an appropriate review.
And have it be gap funding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you. Is there any other business to come before the commission today? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you very much. It was a long meeting, but I think we learned a lot.
You are watching Whitewater Government Television, WGTV, Channel